Hello, literature lovers. Today, as you can see, I'm discussing, discussing literary essays of Ezra. It was just edited and with an introduction by T.S. Eliot. We are all aware of his. Starting with the retrospect, there has been much scribbling about a few fashion and poetry that I may perhaps be pardoned this brief repetition and retrospect. In the spring or early summer of 1912, H.D. Richard Addington and myself decided that we were agreed upon the three principles following. First, direct treatment of the thing, whether subjective or objective. Second, to use absolutely no word that does not contribute to the presentation. Third, as regarding rhythm, to compose in the sequence of the musical phase, not in sequence of a metronome. Upon many points of taste of predilection, we differed, but agreeing upon these three positions, we thought we had as much right to a group name, at least as much right as a member of French schools proclaimed by Mr. Flint in the August number of Harold Monroe's magazine for 1911. This school has since joined or followed by numerous people who, whatever their merits, do not show any signs of agreeing with the second specification. Indeed, vers libre has become as prolific as verbose as many of the flaccid varieties that preceded it. It has brought faults of its own. The actual language and phrasing is often as bad as that of our elders, without even the excuse that the words are shoveled in to fill a metric pattern or to complete the noise of a rhyme sound. Whether or no the phases followed by the followers are musical must be left to the reader's decision. At times, I find a marked meter in verse libre as stale and hackneyed as any pseudo Swinburnian. At times, the writers seem to follow no musical structure whatever, but it is on the whole good that the field should be prologued. Perhaps a few good poems have come from the new method of, and if so, it is justified. Criticism is not circumscription or set of prohibition. It provides fixed points of departure. It may startle a dull reader into alertness. That little of it which is good is mostly in stray phrases, or if it be an older artist helping a younger, it is in great measure but rules of thumb, caution gained by experience. I set together a few phases on practical working about the time the first remarks on imagism were published. The first use of the word imagist was in my note to T.E. Hume, 5 poems printed at the end of my repose in the autumn of 1912. I reprint my cautions from poetry for March 1913. A few don'ts. These are some of the images. Now the essay starts from here. That portion was by T.S. Eliot, the introduction portion. And now starting with the imagist, since we all know that he was an imagist, T.S. Edward Ezra Pound was an imagist. So starting with a few don'ts. Next comes the language, which start ends here. Next is the rhythm and rhyme, and the continuation is here with the other. And next comes prolegomena, and starting from here it ends on the next page, ninth one. Next comes credo, talking about rhythm, symbols, technique, form, all of it. Continuing from that, and Ezra Pond continued to talk about it. Next comes reverse libra, that was discussed earlier. Starting from there, it ended here. And then next comes, it is the last one, only emotion endures. This is only emotion endures. Surely it's better for me to name over the few beautiful poems that still ring in my head than for me to search my flat for back numbers or periodicals and rearrange all that I have said about friendly and hostile writers. So this is about summarizing all of it, and starting with the Eliot's introduction. This rest of the portion is by Ezra Bond. They are very close friends, they were. So yeah, different phases and talking about the poetry, and that imagist was approached here. So that's all for we can discuss all the poetries, all the essays by Ezra Pond, and it's quite interesting. I hope you must have gotten an overall idea. Thanks for listening.